Hi. We're just about ready to start. We're just about ready to start, and I'll be getting underway in just a minute. I've got to figure out how to get a better filter going on my microphone one of these days, but until then, okay, so here we've got a direct continuation to the previous match we watched, which was Bedman versus Venom. That one was mostly Chihiro the Venom, or the Bedman player, being completely run over by FC the Venom player. And here we've got Mei versus Dizzy. The players are going to be Pirate Crew member? Pirate Crew member playing... Oh, sorry, not Mei. It's Jam, pardon me. His name was Pirate Crew member, so I thought that he was going to be playing Mei. And he's going to be playing against Miyako Dizzy. Let me just update the stream title so that I don't look like a total dumbass. And then after that, after this happens, we've got a very special match. God, would you shut up? This is so loud. After that, we've got a very special match that I wanted to highlight from the recent Esports World Cup. And the reason I wanted to highlight it is because it actually features an anime player making a pretty incredible performance. Anyway, we'll get there when we get there. So, as for... I was thinking about the Mei matchup, actually. I had only looked at the... Okay, that's something I should talk about. I was thinking about the Mei matchup and how Mei versus Dizzy is very common at this particular arcade. And the reason for that is because there's a dedicated Mei player and a dedicated Dizzy player. Sorry, I'll spare your listening to these characters. So, and it's funny actually because Mei and Dizzy have this thing in common. If we go forward, we can see that Dizzy goes into the startup of her Mirror Super. Don't be overprotective. And then she YRCs. Because Dizzy, well, a lot of supers in this game actually have pretty messy frame data. So the invincibility kicks in on frame 1. But the rule for supers is that before the super flash comes, you can YRC them. So Dizzy gets to be invincible for a little bit and then just do YRC. Which is, yes, very stupid for a zoner like Dizzy, but it's basically just par for the course in Guilty Gear. I actually don't mind it as much on Dizzy, just because her Mirror Super is already pretty safe anyway. So committing to the YRC window actually makes it a little more telegraphed what you're actually doing. Also, I'm sorry about the audio and everything regarding my my mouth noises not being filtered out. I've been trying desperately to fix that, but for now, for this stream, hopefully it'll be the last one like that. Anyway, I wanted to highlight one thing. So Jam gets a combo here, right? And then she cards up Kenro Kaku, which is the DP. And she gets the hit, and the hit even... So that dive kick, that'll come up later, I'll talk about the dive kick. But she links off the dive kick, she does IAD Kenro. So that OTG'd, and that looks like a really bad combo. However, I guarantee you, what the Jam player was trying to do was sweep IAD on block, and then cross up Kenro Kaku. Because you get a full combo from that on cross up. There are also about, I don't know, 8 or 9 different ways to mess up the input for doing IAD Kenro Kaku. So, even though Jam's not like a terribly complicated character, it's genuinely a really high execution thing. You're also going to see a lot of like weird combo inconsistency in this matchup, just because Jam has very inconsistent combos, unless she has a card like that. And Dizzy has a bit of an issue doing combos on lightweights. Most of her combos are, like, fine. But lightweight characters can always mess things up in this game. Sorry, I'm going to let it play. I'm generally going to let it play, but I want to go over one thing. So Dizzy escapes the Oki here by jumping. Nice fuzzy jump, nice air dash out. We can set up zoning again. Never mind, jam 6H. And then, for whatever reason, pirate crew member, he does a run up Kenro and then tries to DP it, or tries to RC it in recovery, so he gets the X of shame. I don't know what any jam player is thinking at any day of the week, at any time, at any point. So if you have some idea as to what he was doing there, you let me know. Oh, that's a fun interaction, actually. So Dizzy's fish absorbs the DP, and Jam can chain from her DP into another kick special. So it's sort of like this weird scramble, even though Dizzy is doing Oki with multiple projectiles. That's kind of the story of this matchup. Dizzy is like one of the ultimate containment characters in this game. And Jam is like the ultimate scramble character. Like, as long as Jam is anywhere on the screen, you have to be worried about her doing that. Just sending moves. And then she gets all of this damage and corner carry off of it. No knockdown there, because she didn't have the card. Because she spent the card on the opening. Yeah, there we go. The volume should be fine, as ever. Do let me know if the volume is not fine. I think it should be okay. I'm using the same settings as last time, but who knows. It's good? Alright, beautiful. Thank you, Yamashigam. Alright. Good to have you here. It was nice to see you last week, and I'm glad that there's a repeat viewership. That's something that I knew was going to come up. You see Jam get that hit? So Jam's dive kick is kind of weird, because first of all, it's a special move, not a normal. And the reason for that is because she has a rule that she can chain from her kick specials into one another, so it's a special move so that she can chain into and out of it. And the first hit does this, and it's like a really strong hit that's like plus on block, but then when she makes contact with you, she goes into these like can kicks. And those are those have like a really low attack level, so they're usually minus even on hit. So here, Dizzy gets the throw, because throws are 0 frames in this game, and she gets a full combo. Jam hits, and she gets thrown, and oh, doesn't need a full combo, just Oki, that's fine. Also kind of weird that we see the costume counter pick from Miyako, the Dizzy player. He was playing the orange color earlier. Yeah, this is the thing that's like really difficult when you're fighting Jam, is that you just want to get away. You just want a bit of space. And it doesn't even matter if the space is like good or ideal for zoning. You just don't want her near you, because all of her moves are faster than yours. She's got that. The forward kick is 6H. That's an evasive special cancelable combo starter. Oh, that was him trying to do IAD Kenro again. You see that? So he charges Kenro, and then he does super jump kick, which is a telltale sign that you messed up the input for IAD Kenro. Dizzy doing standard Dizzy things. Yeah, that's another thing about Jam's dive kick. You can see it connected there, but it didn't lead to anything because the multi-hits afterwards kind of normalized it. OTG kills? No. Alright. Oh, that's another thing about Jam's dive kick. It does chip damage because it's a special move. There are a lot of weird properties of that move just because it's a special move, and just because of how it's meant to act. It's like plus on block, minus on hit. It's kind of a weird inversion of how frame data tends to work. So, if this guy is the same Dizzy player that I've seen on this stream a lot before, which he may not be, because I'd have to go back and look at this card. It's possible that he is like overly focused on running away rather than sticking out normals like that, and just letting Jam run into them. Because the thing is with Dizzy, she wants to do air dash pressure, which you just saw Jam parry through, and Jam's parry is like it's literally not whiff punishable. So you always have to just use lows preemptively to check her, and you have to spend meter like that. Beautiful, love that. Simple combo, simple Oki, yes. Prevent her, contain her, yes. Dust, yeah. That's cheap as hell, by the way. And she dies here. That's cheap as hell, by the way. Look, she gets hit by this, or she doesn't even get hit by this, but it's like the FD circle and the fish and all the hit sparks and everything completely cover up the dust. This is so cheap. I've seen a Dizzy player on the stream, and I don't think it's Miyako. It might have been someone else. I forget. He had a setup where he would use the red laserfish instead of the blue bite fish, and because the red laserfish is a red circle, it like completely obscures the dust. It's so fucked up. It's so mean. I love it. Visual noise mix-ups like that are probably some of my favorite things in any fighting game. Nice backdash. Yeah, and you got a combo here, and he had no burst, so it was safer to go for the combo. And that's Jam. That's Jam DPing on Wake Up and daring you to punish her and actually contain her. And here's, yeah, that was a big fucking counter hit on Dizzy. If she gets counter hit again, she's gonna get stunned. Oh, who wins? Oh no. I've never seen that interaction. Gonna go back a little bit again. You're gonna see a bit of burst Yomi here. So the supers go through each other. That jump H that he just did there, that Jam, like, they told her she could become anything, so she became a hitbox. This was him just hard reading the burst and giving up pressure completely and giving up the combo. But because it's Jam, nothing she does has any whiff recovery. So she just gets to keep comboing you and keep doing pressure and everything. Also, she's wearing white today. Very nice. Wearing white on the day this was filmed. Very nice. And then the burst comes out. And the weird thing about bursting versus Jam is that because of the way her combos work, if she's doing like any kind of combo, it tends to be a little juggle where she's keeping you around head height. Like this. Okay, well, he didn't go for the juggle. He went for the air sequence because Dizzy's a lightweight and the combo doesn't work on her. So when Jam is doing that, it's very hard to burst her. Because you'll go up in your burst, and then she'll recover because none of her moves have any whiff recovery. So what you actually want to do against Jam, oh no, he's dead, is that you want to do the, like, idiot panic burst, so that you burst when you're lower near to her, because she has to commit to a higher duration move earlier in the block string. Or in the combo, I mean. So you can see Miyako is sort of getting to grips with his matchup. He's getting thrashed a lot, honestly. But that's just how Jam goes. This matchup is also fucking miserable for Raven. I prefer to play Sin into this matchup. For a lot of the same reasons that it's annoying as Dizzy, because as good as Dizzy's Oki is, it's all very telegraphed and very rigid. And the thing is that Jam has a lot of ways to challenge stuff that's rigid just by being a lightweight or doing a parry. That was a sick cross-up, by the way. Or by doing a throw-on wake-up, which is like everyone. Oh, that's another weird thing. Jam 6H, because of the fucking spaghetti code in this game, Jam 6H actually moves her forward before the throw is checked. So she actually has a longer range on her forward throw. And her non-OS forward throw just with 6H. As opposed to the regular 4H. Or an OS throw with like 6P plus H or 6S plus H. Nice air throw. I love air throws, they're sick. Oh my god, that's crazy. Empty parry in your face, and who does that? Yeah. Yeah, see, that's exactly the burst point you want. That felt like a stupid burst point. OTG? No! It's fine. That looked like a stupid burst point for Dizzy for Miyako, but when Jam is doing the like parry follow-ups that actually juggle you, those take a long total duration, so the burst is more likely to work. And I'm sorry, can we... Look at the... Okay, low profile slide, giant counter hit, giant puffball that's impossible to challenge, doesn't counter hit thankfully, gets a knockdown, runs up, does Kenro to, I don't know, cover throw or something, or to cover fuzzy jump, I suppose. Gets the hit, doesn't get the knockdown, tries to... It's like, this is just what Jam does. You can't even... I mean, you can hate Jam players, but you can't even hate Jam players that much, because the character is just built to make the game like this. That was also a sick combo by Miyako, by the way. Yeah, to know that the fire bubble would pop like that. It's a shame he messed up his Oki, but like that was really cool. Yeah, and this is what you have to do against Jam. You have to like target the player mindset, and you have to do Oki that seems really bad just because all of her layer 1 stuff is so crazy powerful. Like with the DP that can be canceled into a horizontal kick, Kenro that can be canceled into Ryujin, takes her halfway across the screen, or with the backdash that like barely has any recovery, or with the parry that doesn't have any recovery. I'm gonna look up what the frame data is on Jam's backdash because I am curious about it. I assume it's a fucked up legacy Guilty Gear backdash. Oh my goodness, Dust Loop is down. Or maybe it's just my internet, could be. Whatever. I assume it's a fucked up legacy backdash that has like half as many recovery frames as it has iframes. That was a nice air dash sequence from Miyako, actually. It's very difficult to make the jump back air dash good, because that's like the day 1 anime stuff. But if you can find a way to make that work, it's a testament to the fact that you're kind of overloading your opponent. Yeah, that's air unblockable, fuck you. That's a crazy thing that Dizzy has in this game that makes her so powerful as a zoner. So she's going to do Ice Spike YRC here, the projectile of the gods. And you can see that pirate crew member T, or whatever his name is, has about, what is that, 2/3 of a bar of meter? And watch what happens when Dizzy runs up and does 4S, back plus S. The first 2 hits of it chunk all of the FD out, and then he gets hit by the next 2. Like, blocking that move in the air requires like an entire 25% of your meter. So Dizzy just forcing you to block it is so powerful. Yeah, of course he's OSing throw with 6pH backward. Nice backdash. Yeah, but the puffballs are not actually that active, so it is fairly easy to backdash them if you believe that it's going to be a puffball. Throw tech, very rare to see. Brave throw on wake up, I like it. Yep. DP that leads into a knockdown. Oh, no. She's not stunned off of this, but it's a lot of damage. Yeah, just... Oh, no. Okay, you're alive. But you get no knockdown because Dizzy can't knock down from air combos at all, which is important since it's a weakness that she has in this game, which she deserves. Yeah, good old 3-frame jab. Good old anti-air jab. Street Fighter players are terrified of that. And you saw... it got a little bit away from me, but another thing about Jam's dive kick is that you can YRC it, and you sort of bypass the minimum height for air dashes. Because when you YRC, because there's a minimum height for air dashes in this game. So if you're on the way up, your instant air dash is going to be at about head height, but if you're on the way down from a jump, you can air dash very close to the ground. So for Jam, she can jump, immediately do the dive kick, and then immediately YRC it, like around chest height or so, and that lets her do the air dash way lower to the ground than she normally would be able to, and it doesn't force her to commit to the jump. And you can see there he had to RRC the dive kick because it would have been unsafe. Or it would have been dubiously safe. It's really awkward if it's that high. That's unsafe? Okay. Dizzy player Miyako wasn't... Is it Miyako? Fucking what is this guy's name? Yeah, Miyako. He wasn't willing to believe that he would get the punish for that. I guess, actually, I have a bit of time, don't I? I can go back. Sorry, I wanted to... Because it happens here, I think? Yeah. Yeah, so he just backdashes instead. And then he gets a dust from downtown. And I know it's going to seem weird if especially if you're coming from Strive or even Plus R, to have this happen and not go for the follow-up. But the thing about the homing jump in this game, which is the up dust follow-up, is that it only suggests that you go close to your opponent. It doesn't like force. It's not like Strive where it like puts you into this little cutscene and you get to force a combo to just work. So if you're too far away, it's possible that you'll actually whiff moves in your dust combo. Oh no. 2 more puffballs? Yeah. God. That was 6H puff puff RRC puff puff 5H. That was just that entire combo that killed Dizzy was just H buttons and plus moves. Oh, thank you for checking the frame data on Dust Loop. 13 frames. Okay, so it's 7.6. That is pretty good, yeah. Okay. Yeah, so it's not as fucked up as I was expecting, but the low total duration is arguably better than having a few more iframes. Because having stuff that just happens really fast in this game is like way better. Oh no, you fool, you mash throw, you fool. Okay, yeah. And the story of this round is going to be whether or not Miyako can get the set play to work. No! In a fire pillar? What dust? What are you doing? What are you doing? No! No, Miyako, no! No, you hate to see it. I mean, I love seeing this windscreen for obvious reasons, but damn, bro, you hate to see it. Let's go back and look at the final round, because I do have a much longer set to look at after this. I just want to look at the final round. So round start, Jam does Bakushu, which is the low profile slide into Puffball. It drops, but that's like honestly normal, and Dizzy's in tumble anyway, so Jam, it was optimal, question mark, to whiff the Puffball follow-up to get more meter? I don't know. Yeah. And he gets a fairly... Yeah, he just goes for the simple combo on this that works on lightweights. Backdash on the dive kick, and he goes for the full combo here. Yeah. And that's the thing, Jam commands so much fear that Miyako is now doubting his own meaties. And I've been in this situation before, not like with projectile Oki like this, or with a summon Oki. But it's like, okay, Jam has 25 meter, so she could do parry, in which case she can always do parry, so you kind of have to go low, but that opens you up to low blitz, and it also requires you to time it, because Dizzy's Oki is not always like easy bake, like Kai's or Raven's, so you actually have to time things, and you kind of have to eyeball it. So if you mistime it at all, then things get messy. Also, if you're trying to eyeball Oki in this game, you tend to do it later, because jump is like a minimum total commitment, and as long as you hit basically the window of jump startup that would occur from somebody holding up back, then that's usually good enough to be meaty. But against Jam, who knows? And the last time that there was like or sorry, not the last time, but before, there has been an ice fish on pirate player, Mayship, what is his name? Pirate crew member. Pirate crew member T, right, of course. XX pirate crew member. So the last time that he was in this situation, or before when he has been in this situation, he has represented DP. which hits the fish, and then he chains it into Ryujin and he escapes the corner for free. That's how fucked up a lot of the defense is in this game. It's like, I get the knockdown, you're in the corner, I'm putting multiple projectiles on you, and you just get to escape. And even if pirate crew member got hit, he'd be in the air at an awkward height against Dizzy, so he'd probably survive. Anyway, he doesn't do any of that. He does blitz into immediate sweep. That sweep is 6 frames. I play a character who has to mash with a 6-frame button, and Jamgat has a 6-frame sweep. Oh yeah, there it is. There's a great example of what the dive kick looks like for Jam. So he does it low enough that only the first hit connects, and she doesn't go into the can kicks, so it doesn't normalize the hit. He gets a lot of juicy hit stun to work with here, and he just goes into sweep. Nice air throw. He air threw him out of the corner though. That's pretty bad. Although, does it matter? Who knows? Oh no, you fool, you mashed. That's just a panic mash. And so the story of this round so far has just been mashing and like panicking on the part of Miyako. It doesn't bother pirate crew member. He was born in this kind of darkness. He was molded in it. He just goes for the easy. He goes for the... No. No. He goes for the easy combo, but he ends in Fire Spike instead of Ice Spike. No, you can't do that. Okay, I have no idea what the fuck he was doing here. Dust? Bro, this is 6P. Why'd you push the dust button? Was he bursting? I don't know. And even if Jam YRC's here, like, you're gonna force her to block. So you could go 6P close S 4S and air unblockable her and get the Ice Spike knockdown and start set playing. You can see him like sort of lean back in his chair like, ah, no, that was bad, Tragic way to lose. Tragic way to lose doing dust as an anti-air. God, I still love how this game looks. Sorry, I saw boobs. I lost my line of thought. What was I saying? Right, tragic. Tragic. It's funny that both of these characters are on screen, because Dizzy was the, I think, second most recent character. Oh, third most recent now. I remember there was a bit of a minor kerfuffle about her redesign in Strive, because it's dog shit. And then people data mined Strive, or they looked in earlier builds of Strive because of the leak, and they found Jam's sort of Strive redesign, because Strive initially began development as like Rev 3. And Jam is, I mean, she still looks hot, but she's obviously like a modern female character who isn't allowed to show any skin, which kind of completely misses the point of her character design. Alright, and it looks like we're just getting some training mode now? Yeah, okay. Yeah. I will say though, you can see if you look at the bottom right of the screen, you can see after the round is over and after the set is over, the guys are having a good time. They're talking about it. They're having some food together. They're talking about stuff. There you go. See? And that's the beautiful thing about fighting games is, and I mention this actually, I make a big point of mentioning this in my upcoming Rivals of Ether 2 video, is that it's so important to be able to talk to the other guy to, I won't say like reduce toxicity, but I will say you want to come to a greater understanding of the... What the fuck? Okay, hang on, sorry. My browser just crashed for some reason. Anyway, it's good to be able to talk to people because you want to come to a greater understanding of yourself. Okay, I am still live. Okay, beautiful. Yeah? Okay, we're still here. Beautiful. And if I'm moving the window around, you should be able to see that. Okay, great. Okay, perfect. Sorry, that was weird. I had the audacity to make a new browser tab in Opera, and it decided to crash, so that's great. The reason I did that is because I wanted to show off the Esports World Cup for Street Fighter 6 because I wanted to look at one of those. Anyway, before we get into Street Fighter, Yamashugum says, I hate most Strive redesigns. You and me both, buddy. You and me both. I could live with the gameplay being shit, because Guilty Gear's had shit gameplay before. But the redesigns are so cowardly, you know? Like they're so, you can tell that they were designed by committee, which I don't like. Was it day 3 or was it day 2? Wasn't this one. Yeah, Yamashugam, being face to face requires a certain level of decorum. I mean, it does, but like, that's the thing about talking to people on the internet. It doesn't matter. It doesn't, you know, it just doesn't need to be that way. Pardon me. Where is it? I meant that as a good... Yes, yeah. Sorry, I get you. I get what you mean. Yeah, it's nice to... It's nice for people to talk to one another and have to consider the other person. I'm so used to seeing people, like, be in favor of the like, the pod gaming, like, gaming in the fucking cuck pod that modern gaming is like, that it's like... When I see people talk about... Oh my god, shut up. When I see people talk about decorum or anything, I tend to interpret it in the most negative way. Anyway. Well, now we have a little bit of... well, I guess it's still anime zoner territory because JP is on the screen, but now we have a little bit of Street Fighter 6, my current mostest favoritist fighting game that is played by more than like 30 people in Discord servers. Well, again, let me know if the volume's good for you guys. I should be pretty audible over the commentary, but Ringe and Vicious were pretty loud during this set, which is understandable because it was a pretty awesome set. So, why am I showing you this? So the Esports World Cup, aka the Saudi esports money laundering facility, money laundering activity, is something that happened at the beginning... Not the beginning of August, because that was... What day was this uploaded? 2 weeks ago. Ah, August 22nd. Mid-August, okay. So, I've been really enjoying Street Fighter 6, and one of the nice things about it is that it has a really robust esports pipeline. There's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of events to watch, a lot of people to watch. And it's really cool to see all of this because, you know, you get to see a lot of different people come together and basically speak the same language when they're playing this game. Also, the drive gauge is very similar to the concept of managing the tension gauge in Guilty Gear. So I really enjoy doing that. So, the reason I wanted to highlight this set in particular is that Goichi, the grandfather of Melty Blood, the Big Papa Melty Blood, has one of the best sets that I've seen. And I think it's really cool that he plays Chun, because Chun can do everything. And you saw him do that jump back MP cancel into level 1 super. That's like an anime thing. Like, Chun has so much flexibility in how she manages meter in this game. And having that kind of flexibility is not like as good as it used to be. I think people are kind of hyper fixated on medium kick drive rush, but it's still nice. You'd rather be flexible than stiff. Oh my god. And that's a Hazanshu to bait the throw. Yeah, and then Tokido sort of desperately just doing amnesia. So I honestly love this set so much. I might make a more detailed video about it, but I wanted to cover this because I was just watching this, like, catching up on the streams a couple days ago. Like, I wasn't even watching this live, but I was like almost out of my seat with excitement just seeing the way that these guys were going at it. So I'm going to take a small drink of water, and then we'll get back to it. And then I'll have something to say.
Took residence in Tokido's head.
Right. So, with that in mind, will this be enough of a switch? Will you even have enough time to make the adjustment? Because that was a complete wash in game 1. Now you're in technically, what, 2 out of 3 territory for the side of Goichi. Can you survive that kind of heat?
One of the big things about 3 out of 5.
Okay, we're back. So Tokido played JP for one round there. JP is an anime bullshit set play character, whatever. But he got washed, so he decided to go to Ken. Ken Masters got nerfed a little bit in the most recent patch. He's still very good. By the way, before we get too much into this, I know that I am mostly known as a Guilty Gear guy, so my audience might not understand like Street Fighter stuff. So if there's anything that you're unsure about, well, if you're watching live, please send a chat message and I'll reply. And if you're watching this later, leave a comment and I'll reply. Because there are some things about this game that are sometimes a little counterintuitive, especially if you're coming from like the air dasher background, where you just it's a lot more direct and you just play towards containing people. Yeah, so Tokido answers back pretty comfortably here. He decides to spend 2 bars of super. I've never played SF6, so I'm just here for the vibes. Oh, damn. Okay. Well, I appreciate you sticking around. I guess the basic connection between this game and Guilty Gear is that the tension gauge, the drive gauge, the green bar at the top of the screen, you should think of that like a tension gauge, and you should think of this game as having like Guilty Gear yellow Roman cancels that slow down time, and Guilty Gear red Roman cancels that let you combo off of anything as like core system mechanics. So you can see, so he gets a throw, and Chun Li does not have a throw loop in this game. So when she throws you into the corner, she just has to take pressure with a meaty button or play the mind game from there. Ken used to have a throw loop, so he could throw, walk forward, throw immediately again, and it was a real mix-up. But in the most recent patch, they sort of removed that from him. That's the thing. That's another thing that informs this game a lot, is the medium kick drive rush. So what happened just there, very small movements, is that, so they're at this long distance, and both of them are thinking, is Chun-Li going to throw Kikoken? And Tokido sees Chun-Li walk forward. Okay, she's not throwing Kikoken. Medium kick range. Goichi stops in medium kick range. He knows that Tokido saw him walk forward, so Tokido's not thinking about fireball anymore. So he's thinking about medium kick. Tokido thinks, oh, this is dangerous. I don't want to be here. Too bad, medium kick. You tried to walk backwards? Fuck you. And this is another thing about having flexibility in supers, is that Chun-Li gets to do these extended combos that are, I thought he'd go into yeah, well, he basically, supers do drive damage, so you get to comfortably do a bunch of damage and have a bunch of corner carry and also reduce your opponent's drive gauge. It's loosely similar to like meter management in some anime games, or like Blitz in Guilty Gear, where you can like manage your opponent's burst. Yeah. Tokido fishing with that forward heavy kick. Yeah, and that's another thing about the medium kick drive rush. So in this, yeah, Goichi does medium kick drive rush, and the thing is, this is gapless, airtight into this jab, and this jab is plus enough such that it makes a tick throw a real mix-up. So you have to like deal with that, and you kind of have to guess on it. There's an option select you can do where when you see your opponent do medium kick drive rush at you, you can input a DP. So if your opponent attempts to do something that has a gap, you will DP through the gap. Tokido does do that because it's like optimal and he's Mr. Optimal. But in this case, Goichi did not give him that opportunity. So he just goes for the throw, which is like the layer 1. So if you look at it, the distance is okay for Chun Li, but she's back in the corner. And she spent 3 bars, or Goichi's back in the corner, and he spent 3 bars to get out of that.
Incredible stuff from Tokido. I love the spacing with the way he's got Luigi trapped in the corner right now. Even the back dash. Oh, but the forward dash after the pursuit. Beat him to the button, but nothing big.
Yeah. So that kind of throw dash situation in the previous patch would have enabled Ken to represent another throw, but in this case he can only represent strike. And that's fine for Ken because he's still really fucking good because all of his strikes are really good. Oh my god, he just walked up and threw him. Oh my god. Yeah. Another thing about drive rushing in this game is that it empowers the normal that you do out of drive rush. So I don't think you'll see this come up in this set, but Chun-Li's flip kick where she goes above and behind your head and hits you on the way down, that's a normal attack, not a special move. So that gets empowered by drive rush, which is pretty cool. And you get four additional frames of advantage on hit or block when you do a normal out of a drive rush. So this is kind of like the real beginning of this set. The real game begins, as a certain man might say. So Tokido played JP for the first game. He got washed, got thrashed even. He played Ken, looked much more comfortable in the second game. Ken is still a really fucking good character in this game. And you're going to see throughout this that, like, Ken's gameplay and Tokido's gameplay is like, I would say it's like, I'd put it so that he's playing kind of blocky. It's like either I'm doing this thing or I'm doing this other thing. And it's like, that's just sort of how Ken is. Whereas with Goichi and with Chun, she has a lot more flexibility and he uses that flexibility a lot more. So they're both fighting over that space in the middle. Tokido backs away, or he jumps away instead of dealing with the throw there. Not a very common option because it loses to immediate meaties, but Goichi wanted the throw. And again, once you can see, when they're at that like prime medium kick fireball range, neither one of them really wants to do anything because there's so much stuff that could go wrong. But when they're just inside that range or just outside that range, they're willing to do stuff. And you can see Goichi here. This is another thing that Chun-Li has, which is an incredible strength in this game. I'm sorry for the bit rate. I hope it's coming through okay. If she suspects a throw is coming, she can do instant air lightning legs, and that goes over the throw and then comes down and punish counters. And when you hit people in recovery in this game, it's actually better than hitting them as counter hits. However, Tokido was aware of this, so instead of going for the throw, he just pressured with a crouching jab, which avoids the lightning legs, and he gets a punish counter of his own. Yeah. Ken's fireball also not amazing. Like, I would say that Chun-Li generally has the better fireball. It's just that Ken can run behind his fireball a lot more easily. Yeah. So that's the second time. That's the second time that Goichi has done drive rush overhead. This is an overhead. Chun-Li also has a stance that she can go into, and there's an overhead out of that. But this is the only overhead that can be enhanced by drive rush, and it has I think a more they're both pretty telegraphed. And so the reason why this is meaningful is because he's trying to figure out what Tokido does as when he sees Chun-Li rushing at him. Because the overhead is obviously something that requires you to block standing, which Tokido hasn't been having a problem with. But the last time this happened, Tokido represented tap parry, which is like a delayed option that doesn't deal with immediate timing stuff, but is good against any kind of delay strike. In this case, Tokido does a delay strike, and Goichi does a delayed strike because the overhead is so slow, and Tokido just sort of mentally focuses on the delay option, and he manually blocks the overhead. And this time he goes for the throw. And yeah, Goichi can kill here. Yeah, he spins a little too. Yeah, and it does kill. Okay. a lot, like if you're not coming, if you're coming to this game and you're just sort of expecting to see like traditional Street Fighter stuff with a lot of walking and back and forth, there is still that, but it's also a lot more about like doing delay timings when you're right in your opponent's face to catch stuff. In this case, so Ken has a special move called Jinrai. It's fucking stupid. It's obnoxious. So this is the first hit of Jinrai, and then he has a low, an overhead, and basically a combo follow-up. So he does the low follow-up here, which is the fast one for frame trapping. Goichi just sits there and blocks it. And he tries to take his turn back because it's quite minus, but Tokido represents immediate parry low here because he knows that when Goichi's in the corner, he goes to medium kick. And you can see Goichi doing the little gamer nod like, oh yeah, I've been predictable with medium kick and the timing is pretty telegraphed. Also, that's like the third time that Tokido gets that jump and he doesn't do anything. The reason for this is because this is a safe jump. And safe jumps are pretty universal in Street Fighter 6. They're generally auto-timed. It's very hard to eyeball them. So, the first time that this happened, Tokido did like empty low, and I think it hit Goichi. And then the second time he did empty nothing, and this time he did like empty jab. But if you have a safe jump, why would you do any of that? In Guilty Gear, in Exerd very particularly, if you have a safe jump, you just do it. Right? Because you gotta contain people. But in this game, because there's the threat of perfect parry, which you can do as long as you have any drive gauge remaining, you can challenge safe jumps because they're so telegraphed and so timed. So it's not really like the safe jump gives you guaranteed mix or guaranteed pressure. It's more like the safe jump gives you a really obvious, really telegraphed point where your opponent has to make a decision, but it doesn't prevent him from making the decision. So in this case, Goichi could do perfect parry to deal with the safe jump, but he doesn't want to do that because it's predictable, and representing perfect parry will show that you are more vulnerable to empty throw, which is probably what he's actually worried about with the safe jump. And so that was like one corner interaction off of one safe jump. Goichi's anti-air is also phenomenal, by the way. So Chun Li has this weird up kick in this game, and it's a down-down move. It's sort of like legendarily not very good. Oh no. But yeah. Okay, so that's also the story of this set, is the drive impact. So again, one of the reasons why I think this game is very spiritually similar to Guilty Gear is because this drive impact move is like an unblockable, well, it guard breaks, so it blows you back, and if you hit the wall, you get this wall splat effect. This is very similar to a dust in Exerd, like specifically corner dusts, which are like the biggest, juiciest kinds of dusts. And in this game, the dust is armored, but it's like horribly slow. It's like 26 frames. Now, if you remember, if you've looked at some of the frame data for Guilty Gear dusts, 24 to 26 is like kind of the mid-range where you like actually need to be paying attention. And they're all 26 frames in this game. For reference, in Exerd, Soul's dust attack is 24 frames, and that's like actually pretty tough to react to. But it's fine because Soul never uses it because it has short range. In this case, as you can see, the range on a drive impact is pretty big. Like, these are big attacks. Big buttons. Sorry, what was I talking about? And the thing is, you can see Tokido kind of upset with himself, like, oh, did I really let that through? Because he had all the life. He had all the life to tank the armor with his own drive impact and then survive. But the thing that I love about this set in particular is that it shows the mental warfare that happens in Street Fighter 6. So it's sort of like you're conditioning people with like all these fast moves and all these intricate moves, and there's the distance about like medium kick versus heavy kick versus normals and other things, versus jumping versus anti-airing versus trying to anti-air or just jump back and take the air-to-air reset or stuff like this, and then somebody just sends a drive impact from like way outside of your normal range, and suddenly like, oh damn, I really got to worry about this. And it's like just drop what you're doing, push the drive impact button. And you're going to see throughout the set that Goichi kind of identifies an issue that Tokido has with this. Yeah, and there's a... okay, he doesn't get a combo there, but that's another good thing that Chun has, is she has an EX move that's like a pretty solid reaction punish on fireballs. It's not the most reaction punish in the world, but it's still pretty nice to have. And in this case, here's the second drive impact, the second of the 5 mythical drive impacts that win Goichi this set. Ken here is doing a move that, he's doing the step kick that does not have any cancel options. And you can see Tokido reeling back in his chair again. This worked because every time Goichi has been blocking this situation, he's been seeing Tokido do nothing but step kick into step kick, and Tokido has been a little too frivolous with how he's throwing out those big fucking heavy normals with 20 frames of recovery. And then Goichi reaction checks him again, says, hey, drive impact, just push the one button. Just push one button and you get to combo me off of my own drive impact. Just push it again. So what happened there is that he got thrown out of his parry, which is a punish counter, which is a shit ton of damage. Okay, yeah, there we go. So that kind of punish counter throw is like really, really dangerous because it enforces it's just a lot of damage off of a throw. It's like almost combo level damage off of a throw. And normally the great equalizing factor in this game is that the throw is not as deadly as the combo, but in this case, for punish counter throws, it was. You can also see Goichi going into burnout there, which means that basically all of Tokido, it's essentially like giving Tokido a drive rush off of every normal. You take more block stun while you're in burnout. I should also point out there's a reason why Tokido is not drive impacting Goichi when Goichi is in the corner, which is that Goichi has the best reactions of anybody. And I don't know if it comes up in this set, but there was a previous set where Goichi was in burnout a couple of times, which meant he could not do drive impact. And so he was literally reacting to drive impact with a throw, which is 5 frame startup. Which means he has a 21 frame window in order to recognize the drive impact and input throw, and he was just doing it. The guy's crazy. I love Goichi. It's funny, I never really paid much attention to Melty Blood, but I've been seeing him play Street Fighter 6 and I've been loving it. And there's that overhead again. You can see Tokido generally being pretty passive on defense. He likes to represent block a lot. Goichi is goated. Yes, he is. He is absolutely my goat. I love that guy. Yeah, and so in this case, Tokido is finally doing the drive impact back, and you can see Goichi is more than capable of reacting to this by inputting super. It's a shame we don't have like hand cams, but that heavy punch into drive impact is hard to interrupt, but it is very telegraphed because you're blocking the heavy punch. There's nothing you can do except to look for drive impact, and Goichi has 2 bars of super. Either super would beat the drive impact. But you can see Goichi gets hit by it, and he reels back in his chair like, oh my god, what's happening? Ah, the drive impact finally came back to bite me. Oh my god, what's going on? Tokido, feeling pretty good. Goichi has to take a little moment, stands up, collects himself, and this is what I love. This is the reason I made that Faust, the Nage Faust video all those years ago. Which is that, like, you physically have to get up, you physically have to overcome whatever your problems are, and you just have to recenter yourself. Like, okay, I got hit by a drive impact, I got stunned, it's not the end of the world.
Possibly. There's just so much pressure, right? I feel like he's been asked a lot in regards to his performances, right? Especially with how often now he's been on the big stage, getting top 3s, getting champion status in a multitude of different games. It's been a lot of emotion.
Coincidentally, I do martial arts on Saturday mornings, so I'm always really energized whenever I do one of these streams, which is nice.
I love it, man. He's
Okay, so we've had Tokido getting thrashed, we've had Goichi getting reaction checking Tokido, and then Goichi getting reaction checked himself. I want to say one thing about like consistency and combos. I want to say one thing about consistency and combo stuff, which is that Ken has very, very simple auto-timed combos. This was a predictive drive impact on Jinrai. If this had been medium kick nothing or medium kick into something that was not Jinrai, Tokido would have emerged victorious here. But Goichi knew that Tokido was autopiloting into Jinrai. And you can see Tokido adjusting his nose. Oh no, I can't believe I got found out. Oh no. And this is an interesting punish too. He actually goes for the like airborne punish, which is generally not as good in Street Fighter and also like generally worse in Street Fighter 6. Yeah. And there's a reason why Tokido represents Jinrai so much, because Jinrai is really good. Yeah, this was made safe in the most recent patch. I mean, I know why, but it's stupid. Anyway, Goichi interrupts by drive reversaling out, which is kind of like a dead angle. It's like shittier than a dead angle, but it's kind of the same. And now they're both backing up because when you're in burnout, you take real chip damage. You can see that little sliver at the top of Tokido's life bar. So they both know that fireballs are pretty damn good, and they both know that Goichi has a huge advantage in how many fireballs he can throw, how many he can block, and also in super meter. So now it's kind of on Tokido in order to represent the distance for jump, or the distance, or just close the distance manually. And he tries to fish with the medium kick a little bit, dash up, raw dash up. He doesn't turn green. And then Tokido gets a little bit scared, jumps away a bit too much. Goichi taps him with medium kick. And they're both sort of skirting around that medium kick range to whiff exactly like that. Tokido doesn't get like a direct punish there, but he gets to approach, which leads to a throw. Yep, anti-air. Goichi has those. He plays a character with TK22 inputs, which is exactly as stupid as it sounds. It's a 2-8-2, a down-up-down input. And he just walks up. He just walks up because everybody's so worried about all of the stuff that can happen. And this is why Ken is still a good character and why his removal of the throw loop doesn't really matter. Which is, you can see him hitting with standing heavy punch here. This is his new standing heavy punch in Street Fighter 6. This has 5 active frames, which is a lot in Street Fighter. Very easy to have this hit meaty. Easy combos, it can link. Easy combos on cancel. Easy to hit confirm. Yeah, see, he comboed into a link there. But he mistimed his meaty. Drive impact from downtown. And this combo is beautiful. This combo is beautiful. The reason I want this combo was actually like the entire reason I wanted to talk about this set, because this combo is like very simple. Well, we'll watch this. Tokido gets back thrown into the corner, and it's like this entire time, Goichi has just been like representing from this distance either walk forward or like projectile or just like not do crazy shit. Like he initially did drive impact when Tokido was in the corner to sort of reaction check him, and then he did drive impact off of to beat the Jinrai, and now he's just going back to the same well, which is, hey, are you actually looking at the screen? Are you actually capable of dealing with drive impact? And the answer is no. And you get a free wall splat. And this is another thing that I wanted to highlight about how the combo difficulty for these two characters is very different. Because what you're looking at here for Chun-Li's combo is... It basically, Chun-Li has a lot of like small juggle combos, and they are all informed by the weirdness of the Street Fighter juggle system. So this drive impact wall splat puts you in a particular juggle state where the juggle counter, which is invisible, is at like a certain level. which means that you can't just do the same combo you would normally do on a standing opponent or on an opponent who got launched into the air from a different source. So what happens is that he does back heavy punch, heavy lightning legs, drive rush, jab, combo into stance, stance heavy kick, which is a normal, so he can drive rush cancel out of it. Drive rush cancel into down heavy punch, cancel into stance, go into stance heavy kick, and then he just goes directly into level 3. He technically, I believe, could have extended this by doing another drive rush cancel, but with all of the stuff that was happening, with all of the stuff that was going through his mind, this combo might actually be like one of the hardest combos he's ever done, because if you delay or you try to freestyle at all, the Street Fighter juggle system will kill you. Because Street Fighter's not a combo game, alright? If you want to do a combo in Street Fighter, you gotta work for it. I could feel the veins popping out on Goichi's neck when he was doing that combo. It was incredible to watch this happen start to finish. And you can see he knows, like, he knows it's very difficult. He knows what he just had to go through. He's like physically like tired. I love seeing stuff like this. And then we get some nice post-production replays. Anyway, yeah. I appreciate you sticking around, Yamashigam, because I know that the channel I've cultivated is mostly focused on Guilty Gear. So I would like to cover that set or other sets from Esports World Cup in future streams, but I might just like make individual videos for them if there's like a particular one that I really love. But this is kind of what I'm doing for that kind of set analysis. So, yeah, I think I'm gonna call it. I think I'm gonna call the end of the stream there because I don't really have anything else to say. Also, I kind of want to go play Silk Song, and that'll be it for this week. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. I think the high point of viewership here was like 5 concurrent viewers, which is 1 more than it was last week. So at this rate, I'll be getting 1,000 viewers sometime in the next century. I appreciate your patience. The Rivals of Ether 2 video will definitely be here by the end of September. I want to say like hopefully next week. It's almost completely done, but stuff happens. I have other commitments. I'm going to try to get it done and have it around by next week. And then maybe next week the stream can be like a live watch or a watch party or something. We'll see. In the meantime, take care of yourselves, take it easy, keep your stick on the ice and all that good stuff. I'll see you around next week. Thanks.